Hello! Welcome back to Therapist Plays Disco Elysium. Okay, we're still waiting for enough time to pass so we can go investigate where our gun has ended up. So in the meantime, we're clearing off some side quests. And today's episode is on exploring creative mysteries of the past. So we're gonna see what is behind the mysterious curtain in the bookshop. And we get a glimpse into what seems to be a very complex, unfinished creative work in the world of Revachol. And honestly had me feeling a little nostalgic for some of my own unfinished creative works. And I also talk a little bit about some of my very early ideas of what kind of diagnosis I might give Harry, which we'll probably explore closer to the end of this series. But we're starting to see some things that might put us a little closer to something pretty accurate for him. So all that's coming up, I'm excited to share, so let's jump in. All right, welcome back. Okay, so we still have just a little bit of time before we go and try to get our gun. I feel like we've been saying this for like 10 episodes now. We'll get there. We'll get there. In the meantime, there's a couple of things that we can do. And one is say hello to our friends in the bookshop. And go exploring in this area that we overlooked before. First, let's check in on our friends here. See if they have anything new for us.
Hello again, esteemed officer, and welcome to Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People.
Okay, nothing new. Anything from Annette?
Hi, Ace Detective.
Nope. All right. Let's see what we got back here.
The curtains, tattered with age and covered in dust, hang before you, as if taunting you.
Let's pull them back.
Just as you're about to pull apart the curtains, the petrified voice of the shop owner cries out once more.
Sir, don't touch that. I told you it's off limits for the customers.
Her hand has closed around her pendant. Her fingers nervously playing with she's literally pearl clutching.
Parapsychologically speaking, we're done if you decide to open them. I won't be held responsible for the consequences.
Parapsychologically. Parapsychologically, okay. Why is it not just psychologically? This is about the curse, that's why you're afraid? Maybe she means parapsychologically, like not quite psychologically, but adjacent. Like paranatural psychology, like shivers. I don't know. Ma'am, this is different. I'm a police officer. I need to get in there. The thing is with this series, I've now long forgotten what the context of this backroom area was. So I don't really remember if any of these dialogue things are continuations of something else that we said. I sense this place is calling for me. I must investigate beyond the threshold. I don't care. You can't stop me. I'll open them. Let's inquire about this curse, because I'm feeling a little forgetful.
No, it's just a storeroom for the employees. I told you. Now please step away from the curtains.
I don't believe you. There's something more. Ma'am, this is different. I'm a police officer. I need to get in there.
Why? It's not like anyone was killed there.
Why would you invoke this possibility if there wasn't something? She stops abruptly as her hand flies over her mouth, baffled by her own bluntness. Okay, not only am I a cop, I'm also a detective. Okay, and I detect through your verbal and non-verbal communication under the scrupulous eye of my flashlight that you're lying to me.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to be so impolite. Just please don't go there. I can't allow that. You'll only make things worse and unleash the powers.
The curtains do seem frail suddenly, not robust enough to contain a slippery darkness.
Let's go with I sense this place calling to me. At some point, I think we're going to get into there's a lot of like things in Disco Elysium's world given to us in lore and in character description and the way people describe things, and obviously Shivers plays a role in this, that are like, yeah, somewhat paranatural, right? Even the cryptozoology stuff is like tangential to that. There's a moderate amount of paranatural stuff. Obviously, the Pale is like not a totally natural thing or a natural concept. But we still don't know exactly how grounded, even in its own fiction, some of this stuff is, or what crosses over into magical thinking for these characters. And this is relevant psychologically because when we're doing assessments for people and we're trying to figure out a diagnosis, we are trying to understand when people say things that are like that sound strange, like that they have special abilities, or they perceive things that seem like an elevated meaning is to them, or certain patterns of coincidences, and then this was meant to happen to me, and all kinds of stuff, right? Like there's a very fine line between someone's general belief in something paranatural and magical thinking. Diagnostically, we would get into it and say, okay, well, is it like negatively affecting their life? Look, if you have your friends and you have like a supernatural experience that you all share and whatever, and it's just something you bring up from time to time and it doesn't like define your personality and you don't find yourself making decisions about your life based on it, no big deal. It's when we start having these perceptions that define this is a part of who I am. These abilities that I have, these perceptions that I have about what I am and what I'm capable of, I'm now making choices based on them. I'm choosing career. I'm excluding people from my life who don't fit these ideas, right? Like then we're looking diagnostically, and we're looking at potentially some personality stuff. But there's different layers to those classifications. Sorry, there's cat hair. There's cat hair everywhere all the time, but especially on my microphone. Yes, I might be listening for stuff like this where I'm like, okay, the curtains are, they have a slippery darkness to them. They're alive, maybe. The place is calling for me. The curse, like, given that there is some paranatural stuff in Disco Elysium's world, I have a hard time going all the way into all of this stuff constitutes magical thinking and should be looked at diagnostically. Or I think once I finish the game, I will try to give you a like clear diagnosis of what I think Harry falls under. Because I think there's still stuff to come. Obviously, we've seen like his dream sequences and the limbic system, and like there's a lot of stuff that, yeah, is it in his head? Who knows? I think someone earlier asked me, do I think he's schizophrenic? And I said no, because schizophrenia would mean there is a detachment from reality, a psychosis, which can significantly impair someone's life. Not always, but sometimes. Other schizo personalities, like schizoid and schizotypal, they will present with some oddities, but they are not psychotic. There is no detachment from reality, but there is a tangent from reality. The curtain may really be flowing, but is it a sign of like a curse? I don't know. It's not an additive perception stimulus. The schizoid and schizotypal and the other like cluster A personalities, besides schizophrenia, they are not like necessarily psychotic. But you do hear some stuff like this. And maybe that's what we're looking at with Harry, but I'll dive into that at a later time. It is interesting. We might hear something like this. I sense this place calling for me. I must investigate beyond the threshold.
You do? My God, even more reasons not to mess with the curtains. Just step away, dear sir.
And I think that some of the dictation of those ideas, which might be magical thinking or paranatural, they come through from obviously Inland Empire, which was our main stat. So this may be more present in our playthrough than in others who are more logic based. Which I like the idea actually that you could get a totally different diagnosis for your Harry based on what type of character you were. Ours, yeah, I'm leaning more towards like maybe a cluster A type personality. Obviously with some depression and those have some comorbidity. Meaning that they're higher. Those personality types are at higher risk for depression and addiction and lots of other stuff that we do see in Harry's life. Inland Empire is This is really interesting stuff. I feel like the closer we get to the end of the game, the more clear some of this comes through. I'm gonna start building my criteria for Harry. I don't care. You can't stop me. I'll open them.
No! Please just talk to me, officer. Come here and let's talk this through before you decide to do anything extreme.
Too late.
Talking is always good. Go see what she has to say.
The fuck? Rhetoric.
Lies. Them open, we say.
Yeah. Yes. So like, this is what's interesting. The more grounded perspectives up here, the intellect, are going to be embattled with the perspectives that infuse. I have a purpose to do this, and it may be even a magical purpose, or even just an authoritative one, you know, through my half-light. And the logical part of us is like, bro, you're stepping away from reality here. Just go ask.
There is something mysterious about it. Be careful.
And Inland Empire is like, no, there's something magical about them. This is perfect.
The curtains, tattered with age and covered in dust, hang before you, as if taunting you.
Yes, yes. They're specifically taunting me. This is not just nice prose that's personifying and giving like character blocking to the upholstery here. This is like Harry's perception. It is creating a half-light response, like a fight-or-flight response, an urgency, and a meaningful significance based on our perception of them. Like, yes, it is good writing, but I'm getting the sense it's not just for writing's sake. It's also like, this is starting to sound very diagnostic. Rip them apart. Well, yeah, no, fuck it. I was gonna say let's go ask, but I'm buying in. This time for real.
You see a dimly lit room full of dusty furniture and trash. A doorway stands in the back, covered in dozens of scary little cage-like trinkets, your shadow looming over it like an omen.
Okay, what are we gonna find back here? I imagine that due to its concealment and the suspicious hesitation from the shopkeeper, this amplifies the significance of this for someone like Harry who may have one of these more type A personalities. Not type A, cluster A. Cluster A personalities. Type is a whole other thing. Cluster A personalities like schizoid. And it's not all the way to the paranoid personality. Paranoid personality disorder is more extreme, and everyone's always out to get me, and it becomes very hard to form any kind of meaningful relationship. Something like a schizotypal could have, they do have a little bit of paranoia. They have like people are watching me, paying more attention to me than I want. There's a little bit of like, yeah, theatrical perception that's sometimes paranoid, like people are trying to take my things, but it's not so extreme. They don't always think people are conspiring against them. And what tells me that he's not all the way paranoid personality disorder is we have Kim, and we've learned to trust Kim. And you can have meaningful relationships, though there'll probably be few in that cluster A personality type. Someone like Kim, who we've really spent a lot of time with, but the amplification of our already slightly overtuned paranoia, it's over amplified by the shopkeeper's desire to keep us out, and not just keep anyone out, specifically me. That's what I'm feeling. This is specifically about me, so whatever's behind here is specifically about me too.
I warned you. You're unleashing forces beyond your understanding.
Let's see. No sane person would ever put their head in to such a machine. Vaguely androgynous portrait of a man. Looks like Guillaume Le Million, that hair poster. Okay. What have we got here?
A heavy door with a missing handle stands before you, covered in dozens, if not hundreds, of little oddly shaped trinkets and charms. It appears to be locked. What if you just break it down?
It's a good question. What if I do just do that? Maybe I should break it down, but not before I strategize.
That's right. Take in your surroundings. You need to have a solid ground and a proper posture if you want to succeed.
Let's check out those surroundings first.
The room is dimly lit and littered with old barbershop rubbish, but the path to the door is clear.
Let's take a look at that door.
It's made of a solid block of wood, but it has stood there for ages. The hinges are old and coated with a carmine layer of rust. It should be doable.
Okay, let's give it a knock.
Only an echo. No one is there.
Police! Okay, we're gonna swap our clothes. The tank top, that's gonna give us some added strength. What else? Anything else gives us a physical instrument here? No. Anything taking our physical instrument away? No. Okay. I guess we could pop up the old leather jacket from our skull friends. A little bit of half-life. Half-light? It seems like pain threshold, half-light, and physical instruments sort of operation, so let's get them involved.
A heavy door with a missing handle stands before you, covered in dozens.
Oh, it's actually pain threshold. That I thought it was physical instrument. Okay. Where's... yeah, there's something. Oh, yeah, the armor piece. Of course. That'll do it. Shivers. Wasn't there another pain threshold? Yes. Aw, fuck yeah. Alright, we're fucking blasting through this thing.
A heavy door with a missing handle
Yeah,
stands
boy.
before you, covered in dozens, if not hundreds, of little oddly shaped trinkets and charms. It appears to be locked.
Not for long. Blast it.
You smash into the wood and see a small crack appear on the doorframe. It's going to take one more try to break through to the other side. but you've done it.
It's all good. We've got enough mag to blast through this door and many more.
You're not thinking of trying again, are you?
I think the coolest way to go about this would just be wordless. What makes the most sense? Well, if I'm going with my idea that the suspicious nature of this whole scenario, and we start personalizing it, we probably think that something is being hidden, like some sort of criminal operation. This is definitely cop related. Hands up. Yeah, let's go hands up now. Go, Harry. Blast him. Oh, Kim, we have a Kim moment.
What is this place?
It's the netherworld beyond the veil. Yes, let's keep going with this line of thinking. It's something magical.
No, it's a gym. Though it looks like no one's been here in ages. I doubt the electricity still works. Good thing we have a flashlight on us.
I get fucked. All the people who said it's dumb that I have the flashlight out all the time. It's actually relevant right now. It hasn't really been this entire time, but look, it's all been for preparing for this moment. And also, that's just what they want you to think, Kim. It's not really a gym. It's actually a secret compartmental reality hidden away from our very own.
An eerie feeling rises in your chest.
What if there's a reason why no one's been here for ages? Looking for additional meaning. The explanation that it's a gym is not enough. There's too many of these, like, she tried to conceal it. Why would there be a gym here? I'm super strong and only I was able to do this. Like, they're all little plus signs on Harry's little sheets when he's making a decision that tell him, like, this is rationality. It's not satisfying enough to say, oh, there's nothing paranatural going on. There must be a reason.
Yes, because it's closed.
No, no, that's too simple, Kim.
No need to look for supernatural explanations where a banal one will do. Now let's move on, shall we?
I love when I'm in sync with this game. It's perfect. No, Kim, you don't understand. This is a secret adventure area, and it's specifically about me. Oh, we've got some equipment. Maybe I can show Kim my physical prowess. Ah, shot put ball, eh? It's a pricey boy.
A barbell lies on the floor. The color has worn off its weight plates. It's 60 kilograms. Your triceps hum at the sight of these weights. Show the world what kind of beast it's dealing with.
Yeah.
Why does it feel so familiar?
There's no way. Is this familiar because I'm a weightlifter?
No, it's not that. It's the stale smell of rubber, the squeaky sound of sneakers, your bruised knee against the mat, and a whistle. Then the feeling is gone. It's just a memory.
No, it's something more.
A memory from another life. When you were young.
Okay. All right. Let me quickly swap clothes before I blast this barbell into the air with my physical instrument. That's what it was. I think that was the only thing.
The barbell waits patiently on the floor, like a dog for its master.
Oh, we've even got the weightlifting gloves on. 28%er. Easy. Shit. Check this out, Kim.
You manage to hoist it off the ground, but the barbell feels wobbly and dangerous. Your hands slick with sweat. Turns out you're no beast, just an old man with bad form.
The barbell rejected me.
Even your body has failed you. It's a miracle you didn't injure yourself. Maybe it wasn't such a good idea to smash through that back door.
It was an excellent idea. I didn't hear any of my logic skills chime in with better alternatives. Weightlifting is for the intellectually impaired. Fuck you, stupid barbell.
Weightlifting was never my favorite either.
I love how we lose morale when whenever we complain. It's very fitting. Like when we deny our own ineptitude and we complain that it's something else's fault, we actually lose morale. That's great.
At the station gym, I mean. I prefer running. It clears your head.
Me too. I love to run. The lieutenant steps away from the barbell, letting you recover in peace. Thank you for not shaming me, Kim. That's why you're a real one. I don't think there was any... there wasn't really a good chance that we were going to succeed with that. We'll come back. Just power through it. Okay, let's go back to the investigation. What secrets lie beyond the veil here? Strange liquids. Wild animals. Spider webs. Creepy. What do we got? Emma's Atelier. Where are the clothes? Cash! There's money.
A dusty radio computer sleeps on its wired frame, forgotten and unused. Its keyboard has a rectangular on-off button. A piece of paper still hangs from the printer.
Another radio computer. Just sitting here without anyone inside.
Is this related to the case with the church?
What he means is that these things cost money. Why would anyone just leave it behind? This is the Ream Civic radio computer, model RC5120, equipped with a Feld mainframe and a Ream-compatible printer.
Do you think I should turn it on?
It's your call. You're in charge of this expedition, officer.
That's right. Turn on the machine.
The machine lights up like some prehistoric animal stirring from its slumber, revealing fluorescent play and print keys on the keyboard. The hatch on the machine's central compartment is wide open.
These sound effects are making me euphoric. Let's check out that compartment.
It's empty like a beehive without its brood. Some cables have been left dangling, disconnected.
This is where the memory should go.
Press play.
Nothing happens. Something's missing. There's no tape in the player.
Press print.
Nothing happens. Nothing happens. Something's missing.
Okay. I guess... Do we have that? Do we have a tape? No. I don't believe we do. That was for a different kind of tape. It wasn't this. I don't think.
The portal reel is just what you needed.
Yeah, no, it was something else. Okay, maybe we have to dig a little deeper. Find the tape. do we got back here? More money. I'll take it. Check out this little room here. Stream. More cash? Ah. Maybe that's what we needed. How convenient.
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering. Like a smooth draw, the filament slides into place. On the keyboard, the play key starts blinking.
Play.
The speaker comes to life. Static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic driver. An old lady greets you. Her voice sounds 100 years old.
Good evening. Fortress accident en rue de Saint-Ghislaine. Repeat station 1.
Oh, it's my favorite wispy radiogramma.
Please repeat. Is this the production schedule?
Yvonne, it's me again. How are you?
Good, thank you. Please repeat. Is this the production schedule?
Let's try the password for the production schedule.
Good. Please repeat the password.
Oh, fuck. I can't even remember. Did we get a password? Afterlife death.
Good.
Oh, okay.
I've unlocked the production schedule. After ending the call, please press print to access the filament.
I had no idea this was going to be related to the other thing that we were
Really?
doing.
She just used the same password? Maybe those radio computer guys aren't that paranoid after all.
See, Kim, it's all coming together. I knew it.
Accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today?
You can adopt me. That's all for now. Thank you.
Thank you, and goodbye.
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering, casting the framework in a soft glow. With a quiet determination, the printer starts printing. A piece of paper, like a handheld fan. A black crisscross of letters covers its surface. It's a project report written by the lead producer, Andrew Andy Schott, about Whirl Untethered, a radio game developed by Studio Fortress Accident. The first few pages give an overview of the capital and workforce, while the rest of it seems to be a production schedule.
Let's read about capital. I want to know about money.
In its short time of existence, Fortress Accident S managed to burn through truly insane amounts of money. The first tranche of seed financing brought in 150,000 Riyal, but then came the delays. Eventually, the damage reached 400,000 Riyal, with only half of the game finished.
Dang.
400,000 Riyal? Yo. These guys need.
It's all about money. The guy in the whirling in rags was right. Where did they get it all? Let's read about the workforce.
Fortress Accident employed 18 people. The bulk of the team composed of writers and concept artists. There were also radio programmers, sound engineers, a CEO, 2 marketing experts, and a single overburdened producer who developed a habit of popping Pyrrolidon in the basement to escape his obligations.
I wonder if this at all parallels, like, the development of this game. I have not done any, like, external reading or viewing of anything Disco Elysium related, like, from the creators or documentaries or anything like that, because I'm trying to finish the game first. So I don't really know that much about Zaum, the company who made it, other than that the creators and writers and that sort of thing were sort of squeezed out, and the creative center of the game collapsed, while the rights remain with the company. That's all I really know, but I knew that before I even played this, because that was big industry news. But a single overburdened producer who developed a habit of doing drugs in the basement to escape his obligations sounds very self-insert.
But on the other hand, Their obligations were piling up at an inhumane rate, a rate that could only be amended by Pyrrolidon.
Isn't that the same thing that the guy in the pawn shop wants?
Why did Fortress Accident have so many concept artists?
Why did a radio game need so many artists?
It didn't.
It didn't need so many concept artists?
No, definitely not. A few more producers could have come in handy though, especially when dealing with writers, some of whom routinely skip to work because of mental health issues and extremely unprofessional sleep schedules.
This has got to be self-referential.
One of them even managed to steal some valuable company property before skipping town for good.
Is that right? Let's skim through the production schedule.
The production schedule depicts their glorious descent into bankruptcy.
Because of the concept artists?
Not the concept artists. It wasn't even the writers. With their panic attacks and 3-hour lunches, it was impossible not to fail. The project was too large, and no amount of money could satiate the ever-expanding ambitions of the development team.
And if not commenting on the development of this game, I think this very well parallels game development in general from what I understand as a observer of the industry, not a participant. But it's tough out there, I know.
They tried to make a 4 million real game with 400,000 in them. They thought they could bridge the gap with pure willpower and imagination.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't.
I could have bridged the gap. Thank you for being real with me, Volition. What do you mean?
Definitely not. Not a chance. Even then, success remained within an ever-narrowing margin of possibility that, despite everything, never entirely disappeared.
Our volition's too high that we were not able to even be that delusional about our own capabilities. Volition was like, absolutely not.
That is until they discovered the Valley of the Heads.
The what?
At the 11th hour, the lead designer, Jimsk-born Sulisław Jalisa, decided that what Wirral Untethered needed was a secret mystical location at the extreme edge of the map. This place was to be the Valley of the Heads, where the heads of all the headless constructs could be found. The player would have been able to choose a head for their headless party member, and each head would have been voiced on air by a professional actor.
This is some insane shit. Who were these people?
The world had never seen their kind before, and might never again.
How many heads were there?
So many. The last count, there were approximately 10,000 heads for 10,000 headless men, all of which could be endlessly recombined.
I love this is what we're curious about. How many combinations could you make?
Do you really want to know? There seems to be a calculation here, but it may take a while.
How bad could it be? Okay. Uh-oh. It's gonna crash the system. Oh my god.
The lieutenant taps his foot impatiently, his arms folded tight against his chest.
This is important, Kim.
He's dying for a cigarette. Come to think of it, you are too.
This is a interesting time to get a craving trigger for a cigarette. Perhaps this is making us feel anxious. What have I done? Oh my god, this is actually...
What if you broke the radio computer? What if it's never going to stop?
I'm just gonna let the numbers wash over me. And that's it.
And that's it.
Oh. Okay. So that's what did them in.
Well, yeah, that and the catastrophic data loss.
Oh, wait. Is this suggesting that at the 11th hour, the lead designer decided to put this place in the game and in designing it, he allowed it to have these 10,000 heads with 10,000 headless men with recombinations, and calculating the possibilities basically tanked their system? Is that what it's suggesting? The what now?
On the nature of the data loss, there's ominous in the production log. It comes at the very end where things get fuzzy and dark, where tables and numbers seem to vanish into an eerie nothingness before the Egonian investors pulled the plug. What is clear is that one day an unidentified numeric anomaly occurred on the East Insulindian Lintel front, just as the Wirral Untethered project was being compiled that day.
And the anomaly caused all the data to get lost in the air.
When the project was returned, it was completely blank. The team spent weeks on the phone with Lintel, the service provider, but despite their diagnostics, they could never produce a satisfactory explanation or pay for the loss.
They lost the whole game and wouldn't even pay for it. Wasn't there a copy of the game, a backup?
Mysteriously enough, it seems that the off-site copy happened to be on-site when the catastrophic data loss occurred. It was the lead programmer's responsibility to oversee weekly maintenance of the off-site copy and, well, keep it off-site. An explanatory note from the lead programmer has been attached.
What does it say?
S. Luukinen Kilda, the lead programmer of Fortress Accident. The off-site copy was on-site because there was no off-site anymore. Not for me, not after 8 months of crunch.
So he was living there.
I didn't have a home anymore, so I started keeping it in the basement in the ice bear refrigerator near where I went to sleep. It was perfectly safe there. The temperature conditions were optimal.
Seems like a perfectly reasonable explanation.
That's not what her colleagues thought.
Is there anything else from this lead programmer?
The production schedule ends with a few random notes that seem to be added sometime later.
Read the notes.
4 months later, by an unknown author. I am the only one left. A few other businesses have gone under too. Slipstream switched to making skis, and the hairdressers just left, cursing Martinez. They're right though. Something's seriously wrong with this place. Martinez, all of it. Still haven't got an answer from Lintel about what happened. All I could get were the physical coordinates of the error on the East Insulindian
Let's get them. Let's get those coordinates.
that day. Since the computation happened on air, I reckoned it had to coincide with an actually existing location.
I'm invested now. Fuck the gun. Fuck the case. This is what matters. Solving this mystery.
I have compared the coordinates to a map of Revachol West. Turns out it's only 800 meters.
Holy
from here.
shit.
The address is Saint-Brun 11. I am going there to look this thing in the eye. Saint-Brun 1147. That's what the street sign next to the church said.
What? It's all connected. Kim, how are you not losing your mind right now? Take the printout.
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering, casting the framework in a soft glow. Fluorescent play and print keys. The filament slides out of its glow.
I mean, I guess we could just take this thing. Maybe we can sell it if we don't need it anymore. I guess we'll hang on to it for a bit and see if we don't need it, then we can then we can hawk it. Okay, fuck all the other stuff we were doing. This is now the priority. This is some wild shit. Most advanced RPG in the universe. We got some design documents.
This old fireplace is covered in lines drawn in blue and red marker. The mesh spreading over the stone like blood vessels on alabaster skin. It looks ghostly and strangely ancient.
What am I looking at?
Radio frequencies, it seems. UKV 123.6, UKV 123.7, UKV 123.9. Some written notes, too. Sparse and cryptic.
Radio frequencies for what?
Unclear. It looks like a muscular system split into veins and capillaries. Very advanced.
We're dealing with something medical here?
You think so? The
Well,
web is
I don't know.
comprised of radio stations all lead back to one red heart titled the Game Master Frequency. A note says this one can listen in on any station it wants. Looks like a surveillance program. They must have had massive airwidth. These things don't come cheap.
Who is the game master?
Someone very important. The leader of a massive on-air game built by these people.
If it's a game, then who's playing?
Whoever decides to call in to a call-in station, it looks like.
It's like a... I guess you'd call this an ARG, an augmented reality game.
All of this is gone. Realized. There's no way a little basement studio working here could pull anything like this off.
Why is this here in the bookshop, and why does Annette's mom know about it, and why is she concealing it?
My God. It's as if the less money they had, the more ambitious their project.
Why do you say
The
that?
schedule. I know doom when I see it. The company was running out of funding.
What else?
Nothing. It's just lines on marble. An echo from times long gone. No one has used the fireplace in ages.
Interesting. Okay, what do we got here?
Your flashlight slides over an old green chalkboard covered in scribbles, sketches, and schemes like some ancient cave mural. Some of the writing has faded with age, but you can still make out sections here and there. Photos and drawings have been pinned to the board.
I got those drawings.
These lithe, pointy-eared creatures appear to be different types of welkins. You make out autumnal candle welkins casting wax-based magic, translucent welkins with organs shining under their skin, and even ether welkins hailing from the vast emptiness of sidereal space. Who are all those creatures? Fantasies of a tortured, feverish mind?
Maybe.
One of the welkins, towering among the rest, appears to be different, however.
This is important, or I don't care. Yes, it's important.
It's Vara Hamira, a high welkin, his face white and scarred like cracked marble. This is clearly a welkin supremacist. The note says all non-welkin races will be purged.
Oh.
The Haldor, the Tworg, the humans, and even headless men, all of them purged. Imagine a world filled only with welkin, green welkin, dread welkin, and the high welkin to rule them all.
It's a bit extreme.
An inordinate amount of time has gone into drawing these little welkin creatures.
One of them is a Welkin supremacist.
Political commentary. That one has a great beard, too.
The political commentary. Who are these creatures? Who drew them? Are they real? I have so many questions.
This looks like concept art for a project. It's not really real.
Why would someone spend so much time on this?
Some people really like building a world, I think. Even if it's just for a game.
Kim, you always know how to return us to the emotional core of the moment. Well, this has been educational. Let's move on from the welcomes.
Just look at those details. So much effort.
And for what?
It is sad. Check out those photos.
The photo collage depicts barren, icy landscapes wrapped in perpetual night. You see permafrost and glacial landforms, dead trees grown in under the snow. Entire oceans have been frozen from shore to shore. There are pictures of settlements on dried up riverbeds, abandoned in a storm. Animal corpses in the dark, carcasses and bones. Albeit dark and cold, this vision also feels cozy in its own way, like eggnog or morphine, a much needed respite from our own world.
When I think cozy, I think eggnog, fireplace, morphine.
A pinned postcard reads, "The heat death scenario, a desperate fight for geothermal energy engulfs the world as Wirral becomes untethered from its sun, drifting through the universe.
Man, we're fucking layers deep into this now. The fictional world of Disco Elysium, commenting on the fictional creation of the characters in its world. Check out the schedule.
This is a monthly calendar from the year 50. Cryptic words like sprint, daily minimi, and GPI span the marker-drawn grid, the grand scheme of production and money. Everyone is constantly teetering on the edge of the abyss, an abyss of production. These squares look orderly, but beneath them is chaos, worry, pain. So much pain. Back pain, neck pain, headaches, carpal tunnel, chest pain. No gym membership can make up for working in this manner.
What happened?
As time goes on, the numbers in the boxes grow rarer and rarer. The board becomes an empty snowfield in the final days. Only failure and regret dwell in this region.
Looks like they didn't make it.
The lieutenant looks at the frigid ice field of
A
nothingness.
note in the bottom left corner of the chalkboard says, "See the prod schedule filament for details."
Man, yeah, it sucks to work on something and leave it unfinished. I've had many unfinished projects that still sit in the back of my mind. Most notably, my own book that I wrote in 6 years ago in 2018. I wrote a science fiction novel. And my plan was to take a break from writing it, like maybe a month or two, and then I would kind of come back and read through it all because I hadn't like read through it start to finish really since writing it, and then I would like do a second draft. It just so happened that my life got very busy at the same time. I went back to school. I went to grad school. I got my degree in therapy. Moved countries. Life just kept going, and I never found that moment where I was like, yes, I have the headspace and clarity to return to this thing. And now the more time has gone on, the less familiar I even am with the story I wrote. So it is no longer a pick it up and redraft what's already written sort of project. It's this is 6 years old now. You probably don't even remember most of it. And I really would like to just rewrite it. I remember the story, obviously, but my intention with that is to just rewrite it from start to finish. And I mean, the person I was 6 years ago, the themes that I would have written about, like, they all need some adjustment. You know, that was a 24-year-old Brady with far less insight. I wasn't even a therapist yet. I didn't know anything about human development or... Oh, okay, that's not true. I'm selling myself a bit short. I already had my bachelor's in psychology. I knew a little bit of stuff. But I was not the worldly mature person that you see today. With their own little asterisks. Because I'm still working on those parts. So yes, it feels like a big unfinished project to me. So I can relate to this, especially stumbling upon an unfinished work, and you're like, man, the crucible of the creative process and the ideas that come out of that, good and bad, is just such a fun but terrifying and stressful headspace to live in. And I just couldn't pair it with the headspace of being in school and doing all the other things that I was doing. I do want to return to it, and somewhat soon. I have already started thinking about how I want to redo that story, and I've done some imagining, some world building on what needs to change about it, and I've written little passages of the introduction. I just have a hard time thinking about editing a book. I think it was like, I don't know, it was like 106,000 words or something. It was a long It's probably medium for science fiction. I think it was like 280 pages. And I don't even really want to read that and try to do that again. I just want to start over. So I've just been playing around with that somewhat recently. So I like this section. It's reminding me of my own unfinished creative business.
The handwriting is only partly legible, but you can still make out 3 slogans: call in, tune out, Wirral untethered, and heat death of the universe.
Write your comment if you would like to read a original piece of fiction by myself. If that's something you're interested in seeing in the future, it would be great to have some motivation beyond just I think I should do it, because it would be a shame to have started and not finished it. That's certainly a decent amount of motivation. But if you would be interested in reading my book within the next decade, let me know. I may just need some motivation, some accountability to push me in that direction again.
Outside, a cold wind wraps the building in its bosom. Snowflakes in the wind. An old woman passes what the locals call the doomed commercial area. She tries hard not to look at the bookstore windows. It's unwise.
Oh. Is this referring maybe to Annette's mother? What you got for me, Kim?
Okay. What do you think is going on with that computer, chalkboard, and fireplace?
It's just a failed business. What the hell were they making? This is remains of Suna's radio game studio. Counterintelligence program. I mean, it could probably be a bit of all of that. It seems like it's a little bit of all of that. Let's just go with the first thing, because this is something we know for sure. Suna's interested in it.
Yes, I got that. What I meant was, what were they trying to achieve with this damn game?
What is anyone trying to achieve with anything creative, Kim? A kind of symbolic immortality that can outlast your regular mortality.
What were their ambitions? Because this here looks rather advanced.
He has respect and curiosity for this failed endeavor.
Me too.
This is way above your tiny little...
I don't know. I'm not an artist. Damn it. Why did we have to choose to be so stupid in this game?
Okay, well, I think...
Oh, he's getting steepled.
Like he's ready to lay out a fine theory, crafted together like a puzzle box.
Hit me, Kim.
It looks like one of those popular pen and paper role-playing games, only these people were trying to automate it, make it work on radio computers.
They were trying to build a video game.
Utter madness, he thinks, as a compliment.
I love this. I love that Kim admires this so much. And perhaps it is because it is the ambition of trying to do something that seems inconceivable, even in a world that is, it feels kind of hopeless sometimes, and that the systems in the world are kind of designed to limit creativity. I think that appeals to his own desires to make a difference in his own way. How are they planning to do that?
Through call-in stations. None of the players have to be physically present. Anyone in the world can participate in the game, as long as they have a two-way radio. Then there's the game master frequency that listens in on the smaller call-in stations. I think that was supposed to coordinate the stories, functioning as a master of ceremonies of sorts.
His fascination has swept aside other concerns for the moment. He's a little hooked.
Fucking finally! I've been on all kinds of tangents and derailments of this case the whole game, Kim, and I have just been waiting for you to jump aboard so that we can stop pretending that we're here to do serious police work and that we're really just a grown-up version of Calvin and Hobbes goofing around and trying to capture our childhoods again.
Coordinating so many games would take a whole switchboard of people, possibly divided into sub-frequencies.
Has anyone ever done this before?
Not to my knowledge. They make automated games in Graz, Messina, Königstein. You know, places with industry.
Not in Revachol West, among the ruins.
But I don't think anyone has attempted to create an inter-isolary game before. We just don't have the technology.
There's in the outer layer of what I'm seeing here, there's an admiration, it seems, by the writers of this game for early game development, who had lots of ambitions for their worlds and their creations, but the technology wasn't there. And knowing just a tiny bit about this, just because of my own interest in it, I know that a lot of early games were centered on like creating role-playing experiences, whether through forget what you call it, like a text-based adventure, but also like the original Rogue, which we get the term roguelike from these days, was an ASCII-based game, and there was a lot of forks of Rogue, tons and tons and tons, many of which I have sampled myself because I like that genre of games, like a traditional roguelike. Which all wanted to have a procedurally generated dungeon that where anything was possible. And what's the one I'm thinking of? NetHack. NetHack is the one I'm thinking of. And similar games like Angband, I think it's called, or Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. They're a lot of them are still being developed to this day. Brogue is another one. Are still iterating on this concept, but there seems to be an admiration for these early attempts to make expansive worlds before graphics technology was even a thing in game development. And so the best that they had to do was like text-based stuff or like very simple ASCII. Dwarf Fortress is obviously like a big popular one, and kind of what he's describing feels like a very Dwarf Fortress kind of thing. Obviously not the multiplayer part, but the idea of generating an infinite amount of fictional worlds. Like a Dwarf Fortress has a world generation feature that even if you don't play the game, it's pretty fun to mess around with. All of this is reminding me of that classic subgenre of like traditional roguelike games, which I'm sure there's some fans of in probably this community, but probably in the Disco Elysium community as well. Just because disco has a kind of a retro vibe on its own. So I imagine that there's some appeal. And maybe there is as well for some of the developers of this game. Again, I haven't done any sort of external research about the developers or if they've ever said like what was an influence for them. But I would be willing to bet that they have played NetHack and Rogue and some of these other classics. And that this is in some way maybe a homage to that. This is a role-playing game.
Indeed. Those Welkins are a dead giveaway. Role-playing people love that stuff. The world looks like a modified version of the We World board game, with hit death thrown in.
Wow.
Indeed. It's ambitious and untethered from reality, but...
The world is cold and lonely. This would keep it company. Let's finish it. Yes! Can we do that?
It's too late for that, I'm afraid.
Damn it. I'm wondering why my light source is getting brighter for some reason. A half smile breaks out on his face. He looks around the derelict room. Pipes howl and rat across the floor.
Okay, let's keep moving.
All right. I guess there's probably a little bit more we can explore back here, and then we'll finish this episode off. I mean, it looks like there's quite a bit to explore back here. I think I'm going to pause it here, and we'll continue this, and then follow up with Suna in the next episode. So yes, let me know what your thoughts on this are. Are you interested in Brady fiction? Would you like to see that at some point in the next 5 to 10 years, whenever I get around to it? Maybe sooner if I get the motivation for it. And yeah, I would also be curious to know what is your unfinished creative work, or is there a creative work that someone else made that you were very passionate about that was never finished? I think there's a lot of interesting stuff out there. Okay, I'll see you next time as we investigate this little mystery deeper.